fire of knowledge that reduces all karma to ash. And then verse 38 further educates us on the power of knowledge by stating, there is no purifier in this world like knowledge. He that is perfected in yoga realizes it in his own heart in due time. So to interpret this in terms of relating it to our present day, we learned that embracing knowledge isn't exclusive to knowledge we gain from literature, but rather inclusive to a union of diverse teachings. In this way, we gain wisdom and are able to carry out actions the best way we can. So what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is to be content, free, and understanding. So what it is to seek enlightenment, verse 21 lists 3 things we must do to achieve enlightenment. The first one is sacrifice, to totally give up. The second one is to question, and the last one is to serve. What we can learn from all of the analogies is that the most powerful tool is knowledge, something that is commonly underestimated as an easily attainable skill. However, it requires a diverse balance of all forms and levels of knowledge.
That's awesome. The knowledge as described in the Gita, it's a chapter of knowledge. So how powerful is this knowledge according to Gita? Because everybody has an interpretation of it. How powerful is knowledge according to Gita? And why is this knowledge described as a burning fire?
So you asked me how powerful it is, and the reason why it's so powerful is because we describe it as a burning fire. Fire can burn a multitude of things, metals, gold, it can burn down buildings, it can burn down forests, and that's how powerful fire is. So to compare knowledge to fire, it just shows how immensely strong it is.
Amazing. And finally, according to Gita, can knowledge be acquired without an education?
Knowledge is very subjective, and I know we shouldn't confine knowledge and limit to just a school environment. We can learn a lot of things from a various source of resources. For example, when we go to temple, we learn about our spiritual and religious life, and that doesn't require us to go to school. So to answer your question, we can learn things from anywhere.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. A big hand for Pooja there for chapter 4 of the Gita. And now we'll go to, you've chosen to speak on chapter 9 as well, which is like halfway of the book. So what about this chapter?
I personally like chapter 9. Chapter 9 is called Raj Vidya Raj Guhya Yoga. And this means the yoga of sovereign science and supreme secrets. So chapter 9 explains in depth who God is, where God is, and the ways of the ignorant and devoted. So to start, verse 3 to 8 discusses where we can find God. And from these verses, my favorite verse is the 4th verse. In verse 4, Lord Krishna says, all this universe is operated by me, and all beings exist in me, but I do not abide in them. And in simpler terms, milk is in the cheese, but the cheese is not in the milk.
That's a favorite topic of discussion.
So God is in all of us, present in every being we interact with. However, that doesn't make everyone God. So verse 11 informs us of the ways of the ignorant. Lord Krishna says in this verse, fools disregard me as one dressed as a human being, not knowing my higher nature as the great Lord of all beings. What this means, ignorant people do not acknowledge God for who he truly is. They view him as any other ordinary human being. Verse 13 discusses the way of the devoted. Lord Krishna says, the learned partake of the divine nature, worship me with a single mind, knowing me as a source of all beings. This means that a person would practice these things if they are devoted to God. So further in the chapter, we learn God is everything. Verse 6 to 18 lists everything God is. For example, verse 16 begins with, I am Kretu, Vedic ritual. I am Yagya, I am Swada. Verse 18 ends with, I am the knowable, I am the purifier, the syllable Om, and also the Rik, the Sam, and the Yajur Veda. The chapter concludes with our offerings to God. Verse 26 explains, whoever offers me with devotion, I accept that pious offering of the pure in heart. When we think of offerings, we can think of a person. So we learn in this chapter, offering a leaf is like offering our hands in service, to serve. Offering a flower symbolizes our heart, which represents our devotion, sentiments, and emotions. Offering a fruit corresponds to the fruit of our actions, in other words, our karma. And lastly, offering water is equivalent to our tears of happiness and devotion. Verse 27 perfectly explains this chapter in its entirety. Lord Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give away, whatever penance you practice, O Arjuna, do it as an offering to me. So whatever we do, do it for God.
That's amazing, Pooja. And I think you shed a lot of light there. I was going to ask you about the leaf and the flower thing because, people feel that the Gita says, written clearly there, you read it, offer me a leaf and I will accept it, right? And I think we take this thing to base level understanding that, okay, I'm going to give Lord Shiva a bay leaf. I've done my job. He's happy. I'm going to give him a fruit and an apple and he's happy. How can you elaborate this a little bit more for people? Because do you think we think base level, too much base level?
I think a lot of people just give leaves because they think God wants leaves, and that's not what he wants. Giving a leaf is just so much more than just something that we pick outside. It symbolizes and it represents us. It shows that we are trying to give God part of us, trying to show that we are trying to live by him and for him. So base level thinking would mean like someone just sitting down and saying, oh, God wants a leaf, so here's a leaf. God wants a fruit because he's hungry, here's a fruit. But that's not what it is. It's a part of us that we're giving him. So we're saying, we're serving you, so here's our leaf. We're giving you our heart and our emotions, so here is our flower. So to think even deeper, when you pray and you want to pray with all your heart, you literally give a flower to represent your heart.
Amazing. And last question I have for you. We talk about service, the leaves represent our hands, and we should use these hands in service. From a young person's perspective, do you think that youths are doing enough in service to our community?
I know the BSYRC youth group is.
Oh, look at that.
I know we do park cleanups and a lot, and we really try to partake in our community the best way we can. And I can't speak for all the youths and young adults in this world, but I know a lot of us are trying to make a difference, like, less pollution, helping seniors, and I know a good example of youths doing that is our youth group.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Pooja. It's been a great experience. Thank you. A big hand for Pooja Bridge Mohan, everybody.